What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Wednesday, December 22nd. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have a 6-game slate tonight, so let's take a look at the point guard position. I like Ricky Rubio from the Cleveland Cavaliers playing the Boston Celtics, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall. They're middle-of-the-pack defending opposing point guards, but Ricky Rubio has averaged 30.1 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 28 minutes per game, with a 24% usage rate. He's projected at 28.6 fantasy points here tonight, but I think he can score 32 fantasy points or more in this one, get you 5 times value or more. He's 6,200 DraftKings salary, 600 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 211.5 points scored in this game, and Ricky Rubio has scored 45, 35, and 23 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 29, 21, and 27 minutes. And he scored 39 and 35 fantasy points in his last 2 games versus the Celtics. So I like Ricky Rubio here versus the Boston Celtics. Now, on the other side of the ball, you could make a case for Marcus Smart, who looks to play pretty well against the Cleveland Cavaliers. He scored 30, 28, 30, and 37 fantasy points in his last 4 games versus the Cavs. He scored 33 fantasy points in his last game, played 35 minutes. He's averaging 28.4 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 34 minutes per game with a 17% usage rate. And I like this pick because he's only 5,700 DraftKings salary, projected at 27.9 fantasy points here tonight. That's 4.9 times value. Oh, and he's the same price on FanDuel, so I like that price on both sites. So I also like Marcus Smart here versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and then we'll send you $100 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, let's take a look at the shooting guard position. Here's a value play for you, high risk, high reward, but I like Cam Reddish from the Atlanta Hawks playing the Orlando Magic, who have the they have the second worst defense overall. They're middle of the pack defending opposing shooting guards. Cam Reddish has averaged 18.3 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 22 minutes per game with a 22% usage rate. He's projected at 17.9 fantasy points here tonight, but I think he can score 20 fantasy points or more, and that would be 5 times value or more. He's 3,700 DraftKings salary, 800 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 215.5 points scored in this game. Cam Reddish has scored 8, 22, and 22 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 14, 25, and 27 minutes. So I like Cam Reddish as a value play here versus the Orlando Magic. Okay, let's take a look at the small forward position. I like Gary Harris from the Orlando Magic playing the Atlanta Falcons, or the Atlanta Hawks, who have the 8th worst defense overall. They give up the 4th most fantasy points to opposing small forwards. Now, Gary Harris has come in and scored 34 and 35 fantasy points in his last 2 games, up playing 35 and 36 minutes. So I'm expecting him to score 25 fantasy points or more in this one, and he's only 5,100 DraftKings salary, 300 more on FanDuel. So I like Gary Harris here versus the Atlanta Hawks.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, let's take a look at the power forward position. One more player from this game. I think this is a good game to stack. I like John Collins from the Atlanta Hawks playing the Orlando Magic, who have the 2nd worst defense overall. They give up the 2nd most fantasy points to opposing power forwards. John Collins has averaged 34.7 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 32 minutes per game with a 20% usage rate. He's projected at 34.4 fantasy points here tonight, but I think he can score 38 fantasy points or more, and he's 7,300 DraftKings salary, 100 more on FanDuel, and John Collins has scored 41, 39, and 25 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 32, 36, and 25 minutes. So I like John Collins here versus the Orlando Magic. Okay, moving on to the center position, I like Chris Boucher from the Toronto Raptors playing the Chicago Bulls, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall. They give up the 3rd most fantasy points to opposing centers. Chris Boucher has scored 25, 25, and 26 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 23, 32, and 22 minutes. He's projected at 21.4 fantasy points, but I think he can score 25 fantasy points or more here, get you 5 times value or more. He's 5,100 DraftKings salary, the same price on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 213.5 points scored in this game. So I like Chris Boucher here versus the Chicago Bulls.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck.